appears the Trump administration is taking yet another L in court, this time involving frozen funds to clean energy projects. And now, lawyers for the administration claim that there was massive fraud in a Biden administration clean energy program. Now, where is the fraud, you ask? Well, it's the fact that money is going to solar panels and energy efficiency upgrades for small businesses. That's really it. That's not fraud, you say? Exactly. But the reason that they don't like it is because they don't want money going to clean energy at all. The order from Judge Tanya Chutkan on Tuesday unfreezes roughly $20 billion in funding that was set aside to 8 nonprofit organizations. Now, these organizations sued both Citibank and the Trump administration over this freeze. Now, Citibank says, we'll gladly release the funding if the court tells us to do so. But the government's telling us to hold on to the funding. And so what am I going to do? Am I going to ignore the government or what? And so I can see Citibank, yes, they're in a difficult position. Okay. Now, Chutkan found that the EPA had unlawfully terminated the program and ordered that the congressionally appropriated funds be unfrozen by, 2 p.m. on Thursday and distributed to the nonprofits that they were originally intended to go to. Now, a Trump administration spokesperson said in an email they had intended to appeal this, writing, the D.C. court does not have jurisdiction to reinstate the $20 billion in Biden-Harris gold bar scheme. What? Which is further amplified by a recent Supreme Court decision. These grants are terminated, and the funds belong to the U.S. taxpayer. We couldn't be more confident in the merits of our appeal, and will take every possible step to protect hard-earned taxpayer dollars. Really? Why not just have Congress do it then? I mean, Congress could pass a law that claws back the funding. They could do that. Why don't they? Because Congress, even Republicans, yes, do love these projects. Because these projects are infrastructure. This is jobs and investment in their districts. So, of course, they love that. But that's why the administration hates it. Because you got fossil fuel people like Lee Zeldin, who runs the EPA, trying to get rid of this. Trying to get rid of congressionally approved funding. They don't want these clean energy projects at all because that threatens fossil fuel interests. That's right. But because Congress won't take up the bill to cancel the funding, the administration is just going to attempt to take that power away from the legislature, taking that power of the purse, which does not belong to them. This violates the separation of powers. Now, that said, I was curious about the $20 billion gold bar thingy. Well, what is that all about? Well, that stems from a video taken by Project Veritas. Ah, yes. In which a Biden-era EPA employee compared the rush to get Congress's climate law funding out the door before Trump takes office to tossing gold bars off the Titanic. Well, that makes sense. I mean, yes, get the funding out the door that was already approved, but hey, let's actually get it dispersed now. And so be in accordance to the law, because we know that the next guy is not going to allow that money to get out the door. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Okay. But Zeldin, back in a Fox News interview in February, said, wow, this is a clear-cut case of waste, fraud, and abuse. The entire scheme, in my opinion, is criminal. Really, what law did they break? None. You're breaking the law, actually. We found the gold bars. We want them back. Okay. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't prove that it's criminal at all. It's congressionally approved funding. The only reason they had to rush to get it out the door is because they knew Trump would try to stop it. Okay, and that's exactly what happened. That does not constitute fraud. Okay. Now, during the hearing, Chutkan pressed DOJ attorneys on whether the federal government had found any evidence of widespread waste, fraud, or abuse in the program, as Zeldin alleged. The DOJ's attorney, Mark Sachs, had to admit that, well, we don't actually have any evidence of waste, fraud, and abuse. To which Chutkan told DOJ attorneys at the hearing, here we are, weeks in, and you're still unable to proffer me any evidence with regard to malfeasance. Because of course not. But you know how these Trump administration lawyers operate.
Just forget about the evidence.
That's really it. That's really it. Okay, just forget about the evidence. We don't like it, so we're going to call it fraud. It turns out that does not pass muster in the court. I know. Now, she added that the government has shifted its reasoning for cutting off grants to the 8 large nonprofits, from citing evidence of wrongdoing to citing a change in administration policy. Oh, right. We can't actually convince people that, it's waste, fraud, and abuse because it actually isn't. We don't have any evidence of it. But now we changed the policy. But you didn't pass a law. Congress did not pass a law to rescind the funding. Therefore, the funding still must go out. Now, Chutkan also called out the administration's failure to give awardees advanced notice before announcing the cancellation. Because, these nonprofits, they spend their own money. And then they get everything set up and expect that the government will honor the contract and award them the money. But that's not happening. And so, of course, that gave these nonprofits the standing to sue. Okay. Now, Chutkan told DOJ attorneys if the EPA had concerns about oversight and funding, the way to do it is either get a court order, which you didn't do, or go through the procedures for termination. You haven't done that. You're putting the cart before the horse. Look, that's because they don't have a real argument. They just don't like the spending. That's it. And there's other ways to shut down spending that you don't like. But Republican Congress people, I don't think they want to do that. Because the thing about the IRA, okay, is that it benefits a lot of Republican states. Missouri, Indiana, Utah, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, among many others. The projects that are awaiting these funds are things like installing solar panels on churches, okay? Upgrading the aging refrigeration systems of small grocery stores, which saves them money, saves the business money, because they spend less on energy. That's good for everybody. But understand that this is the kind of stuff that far-right zealots fear the most. That common sense things, like upgrading stuff to be more energy efficient, households, businesses, etc., and using less energy, they're afraid that it's going to become popular. And so they have a monetary and ideological incentive to try to put a stop to that. They cannot allow the libs to be correct because it means that they were wrong. The whole sunk cost fallacy. Oh, I already put so much, time and effort and belief into fossil fuels, whatever. Sunk cost fallacy. I can't back away from that, or else it would mean that my entire beliefs of the whole time were wrong. And I can't do that. Can't let that happen. Okay.
Can't let that happen.
There we go. And not only that, but of course, these same people are paid by fossil fuel companies to try to stop any kind of progress that threatens these fossil fuel companies' profit margins. So that's it. Now, that said, there is a real danger, though, in Trump still not releasing the funding as ordered. He's already been ignoring the courts. So I am concerned that this, among many other examples here, is going to kick off a constitutional crisis, right? Where the executive branch is going to continue to try to ignore the judicial branch and fully transition our country. We're already at the beginning here, but to fully transition our country into an autocracy that is led by the executive branch, which will become essentially a monarchy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.